Hey Planty People, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. I love meeting brand new Planty People every single solitary day. And if you like Planty People, well, you should probably think about hitting that subscribe button. And if you like the video, you should probably go ahead and like it real quick, like right now. And if you really like it, you should watch the video all the way through and watch the ads while you're at it. But yeah, welcome to the video. Today is going to be my complete houseplant tour of my anthuriums. All of my anthuriums in one video. I do not have like a huge extensive collection, but I do have about like 7, and I'm very happy and proud of them. Some of them have a little bit of damage going on. Anthurium is that genus for me that I was really kind of nervous about getting involved with because they seem very finicky and they're just so pretty, so precious looking, and they seem very fragile. And unlike Hoyas, which is another one of my favorite genus, Hoyas can take a beating. You can ship them in the cold and they'll just be fine, usually. Anthurium, I feel like, are a completely different ball game. I feel like they are much more fragile, much more sensitive to heat, cold, too much light, too little light, not enough humidity. It's just one of those genuses that I was really afraid to dabble into, but now that I have, I'm so tickled to be a part of it. And I would like to say that Anthurium is probably one of my favorite genuses at the moment. At this very moment in time, I am really feeling the Anthurium bug. There was an Anthurium bug and it like randomly crawled into my bed and bit me so hard, and now I have 7 of them. And I'm very tickled and excited to show you some really beautiful looking specimens and also some that aren't looking terrible but are making a great comeback. And I have a lot of stories to tell you about each and every one of them. So here we go. Okay, so the very first Anthurium I want to show you guys is my Anthurium angerum. I believe that is how you say it. I'm just saying it how I'm reading it. This guy had a few other leaves. This was one of his previous leaves that has since yellowed, and I have snipped all of the yellowing off, and here's what we're left with. And it's probably getting ready to fall off and die, which is okay because in the meantime it put out this nice little baby leaf, which actually came out with some little baby holes. I've never seen that happen before, but it is what it is. Although the leaf has some little baby holes in it, it looks really healthy and really happy. Nonetheless, it lives in my prop box that I have, and it gets really high humidity. I have it in some sphagnum moss, and I also am playing around and I have some leca pebbles at the bottom of it. I think I had some intentions to do something else with this exact contraption because this wasn't what it was originally potted in. So I originally, whenever I bought it from Ecuagenera, I did a complete tour of Ecuagenera USA. Don't forget to go check out that video. It was a really good time. A lot of cool plants. But I picked this guy up from there, and it was potted in soil. And a lot of the times whenever I'm using leca, I like to use it on plants that I don't exactly know when they are thirsty, don't show a lot of signs. And Anthurium I'm still really kind of new at, and I thought what better way to make for sure that I'm watering it correctly than to put it in leca. And unfortunately the roots began to rot in leca, and I had to hurry up and do something drastically, and I'm glad that I found it when I did. I'm glad that the leaves started yellowing when they did, because I was able to put it immediately into some sphagnum moss after I chopped off all the rotting roots, so I was left with 0 roots, and I put it in my prop box and just hope for a miracle. And we actually have a few little roots coming in. You can see one right there. And another one right there. He's actually doing really quite well. I'm very happy with this little plant. I don't really hear a lot about this guy. I just saw it at the store or at the nursery, and I really liked it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna pick that up. I think it's cute, and I hope that maybe as it matures, I hope that the leaves get a little bit bigger. It reminds me very much so of like a warlock crossed with a melanochrysum. That's just like the vibes that I'm getting from it. So my very next plant is one of my plants that I really treasure, and I adore this anthurium, and this is my Anthurium warlockum. Now this guy also was a Lekka boo-boo. I actually bought this plant from Plant Me Ashley. She was so generous and sold it to me for such a good price. But this guy, I also did the exact same thing that I did with the angerum. I don't know the watering habits of Anthurium just yet, and so I decided to put it into Lekka. This was when I was still learning Lekka, and I wasn't putting enough water into the water reservoir, and I was letting it dry out for way too long, way too much. So I had to, yet again, rescue mission this guy, and I put him in a net pot. I don't know why, I just thought that it would look cool, and I put it full of sphagnum moss, and I just hope for the best. I want to call it the trunk of the Anthurium still a little bit submerged into the sphagnum moss, but it's still very close to the surface because I don't want to get it too submerged, but I do want it to be a little bit covered so that more roots can sprout from the trunk of this warlock, because the roots tend to sprout from all sorts of angles on this guy, and I want to give it as many opportunities as possible to have more roots, because I think that the more roots, the more potential for new leaves, and this foliage is just killer. It had originally, with this leaf, it had started to produce this new leaf, but it wasn't coming out. It was just staying inside the sheath. It wasn't wanting to emerge. So whenever I put it into a home and an ecosystem that I actually really liked, poof, it just came out of nowhere, a brand new, beautiful, juicy, lively leaf, and it is just gorgeous, and I can't wait for the next one to come out. I don't think there's gonna be another one coming out anytime soon. In the meantime, I will just keep fawning over this warlock leaf. This next anthurium that I'm going to show you guys is an anthurium that means a whole lot to me, because it is the anthurium that I bought once my channel reached its 1,000 subscribers, and I'm just so like amazed that 1,000 of you guys, 1,000 plus actually, have subscribed to my channel. Thank you guys so much for your love and your support, your comments, your likes. It truly means the world to me, and I just love this platform. I love talking to people and sharing with you guys about plants and just like things that make me happy and make us happy, us planty people happy, and just like thank you guys so much for your support. It truly means the world to me. So with that being said, this is my Anthurium crystallinum. I freaking love Anthurium crystallinum. I feel like Anthurium crystallinum is like that staple type of anthurium. That one, this one, and the clarinervium. Very much so staples in any type of plant collector's collection. But, however, this plant was such a big deal for me and such an exciting purchase. Whenever I purchased it, I was looking for one that was more of a dark form, because you can get ones that are more light green. This one's definitely much darker. I love how velvety and how crystally the veins are. However, I purchased this off of Etsy. I did a lot of looking that very night that I reached my 1,000 subscribers, because I was bound and determined to do it that night. But once I decided that this was the plant that I was gonna get, I did so much research. I looked on so many shops. I looked at Peace, Love, Happiness Club. I looked at it felt like hundreds of Etsy shops and Etsy listings, and this was the one that I came to. I had great reviews. However, whenever I got the plant, the roots were just like completely rotting. They were black. I thought that they were okay whenever I unboxed them, but they were not, and the plant was not happy, and you could tell. Since then, I completely chopped off all the original roots that it came with, and I put it in my net pot and spag, and look what we got here. And also, we have a new little baby trying to emerge. Anthuriums are so exciting to me. I feel very accomplished with these guys, especially because I feel like they are so picky and finicky. And my neighbor is back to judge me from looking in the window. But I feel like because they're so picky and finicky, whenever I get new roots or get a new leaf or anything of the sort, I'm just like over the moon, excited, ecstatic, and I just feel like the plant mom of the year. Such a good plant. I also have the trunk. I know it's not the trunk, but that's just the only word that's coming to my mind. I also have it almost fully submerged into this bag as well, trying to promote as much root growth as possible, especially because there was 0 roots. When I potted it up, it came with 2 leaves to begin with. I haven't lost either of them, which I'm very ecstatic about. A tiny bit of browning right here, but it also lives in my prop box because I wanted it to get as much humidity as possible to promote as much root growth as possible. I'm thinking maybe once a new leaf comes out, I might move it out of the prop box, but I might also go and get an IKEA cabinet and make one of those. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do that and think that I should do a video on it, because I kind of want to do it. And if I get enough comments, then my boyfriend has to let me do it. So that's my Anthurium crystallinum. I just think he's so fun and so beautiful. I love that it's like literally the size of my head. Such an iconic plant. So my next Anthurium is the Anthurium rotundisticum. If you can tell, he's not doing the very best. He's recovering. He's trying to recover at the moment because I didn't give him enough humidity. I was running my humidifier like every single day whenever I got this guy, and then I got lazy and I decided to not run the humidifier as much as I was because I just didn't feel like it. However, I decided to finally get my act together, started running my humidifier, and it produced a brand new leaf for me. However, the bottom part is really curled and I'm not really sure why. Maybe somebody in the comments can tell me why, but I can see another new leaf getting ready to emerge. It grows off of the petioles and I can't wait to see that happen because the leaves get really big on these guys actually, and I can't wait to see a really mature leaf come from this guy that is adapted to my environment. I don't really have like a really fun and exciting story other than I got this guy from Equigenera. He was in soil. I didn't know the watering habits of him, so I put him in leca and he's been living the leca life ever since. He hasn't given me any troubles being in leca, so I don't think that he minds it. However, I think that he did mind the drop in humidity, so he's doing so much better and I like him. My next Anthurium looks very similar to one that you've already seen, and it is my Anthurium metallicum. Very similar to the crystallinum. However, the petiole is ruffled and it produces really huge leaves. It has like the potential to have like gigantic leaves. I don't think that the crystallinum leaves get quite as big. I could be wrong, totally could be wrong, but I don't think they get quite as big and beautiful. This one is, I don't think that it is the dark form. It is kind of dark, but it's not quite as dark as my crystallinum. I got this guy because like I said, I'm really into Anthurium at the moment, and Lucia from Lulu's Leaves got one and it was huge. And I was so envious and I was like, I need that plant. I need it now. And so me being me, I jump over to Etsy immediately and I start looking at all the metallicums and oh my gosh, I've been saying metallicum this whole entire time. It's a magnificum. So I go to Etsy and I look at all the magnificums and I try and find like the best specimen possible. And then I was like, I don't have a ton of money at the moment, but there's this new thing called Klarna, which is something that Etsy is offering on like not every shop offers it, but it's something where you can break the payments up into 4 payments. And I was like, ooh, that sounds reasonable to me. And so now I'm making four payments on this guy, and I just feel like it makes it feel like I'm not paying that much for a plant that is so beautiful and so lush and gorgeous. And I don't think that it should be frowned upon that people do something like that. I think that it should be okay. Like if somebody wants to buy something on a credit card, just let them. Don't judge them. Just let them do whatever they want to do. Live your own life. You, Karen, you go sit in the corner. Go judge yourself. But anyway, back to the Magnificum. I just really love this guy. I searched for quite a bit for him in a 24-hour span on Etsy, and I found this guy, and he has new growth coming in. Very excited about that. I've had him for not quite a month yet, so I got him right before the big hassle for Christmas started commencing, like just before it started taking like really long time for Christmas presents to come in. And I live in Florida and the seller lives in Florida, so it came even quicker. I think I ordered it, shipped on a Monday, and I got it here on like a Friday or Saturday, so top notch. He actually is in soil, but I like to keep a little bit of moss on the top to help promote humidity, to keep the soil a little bit more on the moist side, because I feel like, at least for me and this plant, he gets to be a little bit more thirsty. And I don't know if that's for all anthuriums or just this anthurium or just my anthurium or if it's just in my head, but I saw him get really droopy the other day, and it was, I think I hadn't watered him in maybe like 3 days, and I was just like, So I added this bag and I gave him a good water, and he's been happy ever since. So let me know in the comments down below about that. If you have any type of info or if you can relate in any type of way about this guy. There's nothing really, really exciting, any big stories other than I was envious. I had plant envy. We all have plant envy sometimes, and I let it get the best of me. But I got an absolutely beautiful plant. I do not regret it. I love it. It sits on my desk. I get to see it every single day. So no regrets. Anthurium magnificum. Okay guys, so my next anthurium that I have is definitely my largest anthurium that I own. Very happy and I feel very blessed in order to have this. I got it from a trade, and it is my Anthurium clarinervium. It has 4 beautiful leaves. This is its newest. You can tell because it is just a little bit of a lighter shade green. It's still working on hardening off. It is almost there. It's still not quite as hard as the other plants, but I think it is doing just fine. I love this guy. It's funny how sometimes you look at a plant and you're like, oh, I can appreciate that. I think it's really pretty, but do I want to own it? I don't know. And then an opportunity comes about and you're like, you know what? I could really own that plant. I really like it. So I was on Plant Me Ashley's Discord the other day. My now friend Sage was posting about her clarinervium, which was this guy. And she was looking into trade and she wanted to find some aeroids. And like Anthurium clarinervium was like a plant that I never thought that I wanted until I saw this one. This one is so pretty and so healthy and so happy. And whenever she showed me the roots on this guy, you wouldn't even believe it. You would think that it's like a freaking monstera that's been root bound for like 10 years. The roots on this guy is insane. But I traded her a really good size cutting from one of my philodendron squamiferums. I am just over the moon happy about this guy. I really, really, really want to get into pollinating plants, and I know that Anthurium clarinerviums, they're pretty prolific, and I really would love to have the opportunity to pollinate one of these guys and have little baby clarinervium seedlings that would just like tickle me pink. And I just really want to get into and explore that type of field. I just think that that would just be so fun, so exciting. It's not like, I don't think I could add it to a wish list, but it's definitely like a wish list to-do list type of thing that I would really love to do in 2021. I would love to pollinate a plant, especially maybe a Anthurium clarinervium once it decides to flower for me. Fingers crossed it'll be soon, and then I can get that process started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you my very last Anthurium, and it is also an Anthurium that's very special to me because it is my first ever Anthurium ever, and it was sold to me as an Anthurium doriaki crossed with crystallinum. Now I've heard this, I've seen I've seen ones that look very, very similar to this guy, and I've seen them labeled as doriaki, and I've seen them labeled as Anthurium hope or silver blush. So I'm sure that they're all probably like the same thing, but maybe marketed under different names to make people feel like they need all of them. That's just a theory. I have no idea. Don't come for me in the comments. But I truly love this guy because he was my first anthurium, and I've learned a lot. I've learned so much from this guy. He is in leca. When I first received him, he was in soil. I converted him to leca because I didn't know how to water him. If you can tell, he and I did not get along very well in the beginning because I didn't know that the leca needed to have more water in the reservoir. I was letting it get too dry, and it was really such a shame because this guy had some killer roots on him, and because I let the water reservoir get so low, the roots just completely shriveled up. They died. I had to cut them all off, reroot it in water, and we're back into leca. I did have, his roots were growing so good the first time that I had him in an even bigger net pot. That's how big his roots were. Since I was still learning leca and I was still learning anthurium, I let the water dry up for too long, and therefore the roots dried up with them. It was a very, very sad day. But that is the story with this guy. Now that I keep the water reservoir full at like almost all the time, I let it get down maybe to about right here. It's usually filled right about up here. Now that I've done that, he's pushed out two beautiful, happy, and non-yellowed leaves for me, and I just I can't complain. He's doing so good. I'm tickled. I can't wait for him to get a little bit bigger because I would love to propagate him, and I love just how tiny and compact he is. I know sometimes whenever our collections start to get a little bit bigger, we have these really, really large plants that just take over our whole entire area. So it's nice to have these tiny little, like, cute and beautiful plants that can fill in some of those small spaces, and you don't really have to worry about them getting too big or too massive, at least anytime soon. Okay guys, that is enough for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching still all the way to the very end of this video, thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. It truly means a lot to me whenever you guys watch all the way through, all the way to the ends of my videos, because it really, really helps me, really supports me, and it just means a lot. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like button, and also if you liked the content or didn't like it, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And leave a comment down below and let me know of anything you guys would like to see. Let me know of any video suggestions that you guys would love to see. I would be more than happy to do them. And I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.